Okay, now I want to demonstrate some of the charting features of TableTools2. One thing I want to note is that TableTools2 included an excellent JavaScript package for doing charting, and it's made by Isaac Newhouse, who's my colleague, and he released this as an open source, and it's available at canvasexpress.org. Um, so here, in TableTools2, I wrote a very easy to use adapter or user interface to his tools so that no one needs to any not programming knowledge, and it will be very simple clicking to make any nice charts. So here, let's say I am interested in the Summer Olympics medal count. So this is the 2008 Summer Olympics medal count in Wikipedia. So I want to see, I want to do a little bit data analysis. So I can press Ctrl C and click inside the table, and this opens a charting page. And in the charting page, you can select different charting types. For this one, I want bubble chart. Of course, those histogram, pie chart, everything, those are easier to understand. Bubble chart is actually a more powerful one than scatter chart. It's almost like a scatter chart, except that it takes in more information. So before doing the bubble chart, I want to show the table data. So you can see this page basically has the table data, and the first row is the type of the columns in this table, and second row is the the names of the columns, and then after that is the real data rows. Okay, and it's basically tab delimited, so you can actually edit data here, and then it will show up in the, if you draw the chart again, it will show up. So here the most important thing is that I want to get rid of the total row, because this one will ruin the chart. I don't need the total image. Once that's done, and also make sure that once you delete it, move the cursor, delete it so that there's no empty row at the end of the table data. Okay, now I can hide the table data, and for the data label, I want to use nation's name, and I want to chart the gold, silver, and bronze, and the color I use rank. So now if I draw the chart, as you can see, one interesting thing is that you can see that China has the most gold, but silver it has less, and bronze it also has less than gold. So the one really interesting phenomenon that really immediately jumps out that you could in the chart, but you couldn't infer it from the table easily, is that as you can see, almost all the nations are above the central line, the diagonal line, where the silver and the gold are the same, and but China is really just deviating from that, where the gold is much more than the other kind. And for example, United States, it's about the same. And if we look at the 2004, you do the same analysis, and again, let's get rid of the total and move the cursor back to the last line so there's no empty line, and go back to bubble chart. We do the nation, gold, silver, bronze, and rank. Let's draw it again, and this time again China is off the diagonal line, and Japan is a little off too, and the United States and Russia are not off. And if we go back to 2000 and do the same analysis, I'm just trying to show that using this charting in real life situations, you can easily identify something interesting, and you have the data to support it. You have the chart. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So this time you do the same thing, and you can see United States and China are both off the diagonal line, because this time the diagonal line is here. along the Russia, basically from here to Russia, but China and United States are both off. So basically, other nations occasionally goes off the diagonal line, but China is always placing a lot of emphasis on gold. I think I don't like people saying like, oh, this is our government. I don't think so. And let's not talk political things. But I think, in my opinion, it's because China really gold medals are very handsomely rewarded. So everybody was striving for gold, and you cannot send that many athletes in one category anyhow. So gold was biased in Chinese medal count. Okay, so that's the charting for this, and I will demo some more charting later. Now for a little bit more charting features, and there are just so many things you can do with charting that I will not be able to demo all of it. But here, let's say you press Ctrl C and click to open a charting tab, and what you can do is I want to demo is the frequency chart. This frequency chart, basically, if it's just a string column or number column, it will do a count of each unique values, and you will do a histogram that shows it. And so for example, here if I do the IP addresses, and you can see it summarized the table column to say, okay, empty values has 6, and this particular IP address there are 3. And if you do a numbers column, it will do the same. If you draw the chart and you say minus 94 appeared 4 times in this column. But the difference with number column is that you can also decide how many slices you want to slice all the data. So this actually provides a view of the distribution. So if I want to say slice it into 10, I want to see if it's normal distribution or whatever. And here the data is actually very biased to the lower side, and this is basically how far from the minimum. It's basically separated from the minimum to maximum value into 10 slices, as you designate it here, and you will count how many values fall into each slice and draw a histogram of that. And so that's very useful to check if the distribution is even or not. Another thing I want to show is, for example, in the earlier data, in the introduction video, I showed how to compare, say, Toyota Sienna total cost of ownership compared to Honda. And so if you do the pie chart of this, I mean, earlier I showed you, oh yes, you can do the histogram, and you can say directly compare the 5-year total of the two, and that's easy. And so let's say if I do a pie chart, and for the Toyota, I want to see for its 5-year total. If I draw it, you can see how much each cost it was in the total cost. And so the true cost to own, oh yeah, actually for this pie chart I want to get rid of this true cost to own, because it's basically the sum of all the data. So for that, what I want to do is find a row that says true cost to own, and then get rid of it, which is the last row. Get rid of it and go back to the, make sure there's no empty line. So you go move the cursor to here, and now let's draw the chart again. Okay, so now the true cost to own is not gonna bias the data. So you can see the depreciation takes 29% of the cost, fuel 25%, insurance 23%, and then all the other things. So this charting, TableTools2 5-axis extensions charting is really extremely easy, and it's directly connected to the HTML table data directly exported to this page, and then you can even edit it. So you can edit it and then draw the chart again, and the chart will reflect the difference. And That's it for the charting that I want to demo. You can explore more yourself.